Hello everyone, Silent here. Welcome back to the Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today we have a very simple, cheap, and reliable villager-powered crop farm for your Minecraft world. You can farm any of the crops that you like using these farms: beetroots, carrots, potatoes, and also wheat, which is pretty nice. In addition to that, it's a very small farm, only 16 blocks by 16 blocks, and it is also stackable, meaning you can have as many layers as you like. 1 layer, 3 layers, 20 layers, 50 layers, as many as you like, and it will work just fine. So in addition to those pros, it also actually produces quite a bit of crops per hour. So I've been here for about 45 or so minutes, and as you can see, we've already gotten well over a double chest of crops, and even more than this, probably about another 10 to 12 stacks. I've just been throwing them away. So it's actually a fairly good farm. Now, before we get into all the details about this farm and the tutorial, if you guys could please leave a like on the video, that'd be very much appreciated. Shows me that you guys want to see more Bedrock Edition tutorials. Also helps out the video and, boring things like that. And maybe while you're down there, let me know what other farms for Bedrock Edition you guys want to see me do a video on. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Alright, so on to some further details about this farm. It's a very specific size, 16 blocks by 16 blocks, for a very good reason. It is actually chunk aligned because it has been brought to my attention that on Bedrock Edition, and especially on Realms, villagers like to get deleted by chunk borders, or they like to disappear, or they just like to go places that you don't really want them to go. So by making sure that your farm is 16 blocks by 16 blocks, you can chunk align it, meaning that you give yourself the best possible chance of keeping your villagers alive for the longest amount of time, because let's be honest, getting villagers is honestly kind of a pain. Now, in addition to that, we also have a lightning shield up here, and that is because due to Bedrock's extremely small ticking area, only 4 chunks around the player, lightning is always striking extremely close to the player, meaning that your villagers will pretty often actually get turned into witches. So by giving yourself a lightning shield 4 blocks above their head height, you are preventing them from turning into witches, which is a very nice feature that you will definitely want in your farms. Now, in addition to that, before any of you ask, yes, Bedrock Edition kind of killed my world, and yes, it is completely broken. Yes, I am sad about it. Let's turn it up to 80 chunk render distance so you guys can really see the pain. And I have no idea why this happened. It just happened one of the last updates, and yeah, it's just kind of gonna be this way for a while. Probably ever. At least I found a use for the grass area. Alright, so let's hop into the tutorial already. So the first step with any farm is to figure out where you're going to be building this. Now, that's pretty simple. You want to get your coordinates, and then it gets a little bit less simple. So we're going to be building this farm chunk aligned. As you can see here, we've marked out a chunk as 16 by 16 area of the world, and we're going to be building our crop farm in this area. So I could show you guys some number crunching or some math or some tricks inside of Minecraft to determine chunk borders and things like that, but I'm lazy. You're probably lazy as well, and you want to do things quick and easy. So we're going to head over to a website called ChunkBase, which will be linked down below for your convenience. And when you put in your coordinates to that, it's going to give you the upper left block of your chunk and also the lower right block of your chunk. It's going to give you the coordinates for those. That allows you to connect them up super simply and easily for a very simple chunk border right here. So let's head over there. Our coordinates are -180 by 884, and here we are on ChunkBase. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go over to the apps tab, and I'm just on the slime finder right now. Doesn't really matter which one you use, they're all the same, like coordinates and stuff. So then go down to Minecraft Bedrock Edition, put in the coordinates of where you are standing. Again, we have -180 by -884. Hit go, and that is going to give you a red dot for those coordinates. Now, as you can see in this lower area right here, it's going to give you a couple extra sets of coordinates. So the first set is going to be the top left corner of your chunk, and the second set of numbers is going to be the lower right block of your chunk. So you can connect those up extremely quickly and easily for a very simple outline of where your chunk inside of Minecraft is. If you followed all the steps so far correctly, then you should have something that looks a little bit something like this. A 16 by 16 area, that's going to be the upper left block of your chunk. This is going to be the lower right one, and then you should also have this diagonal bar in the center just for counting and for orientation. So the materials needed for this build are going to be in the description down below, and that is going to be per layer. So if you want to build 2 layers, then you will double the materials that are listed down below for you. And you can make these walls out of anything you like, of course. We're just using glass because it looks kind of nice. Anyway, so one little note about wheat farms. If you want to farm actual wheat and not bread, then what you're going to need to do is put a hopper minecart down below these blocks right here. Just keep that in mind. We'll cover wheat farms a little bit later on, but just know that you will need a hopper minecart down there. So now what you need to do is find the center of your chunk. That should be 7 blocks diagonally from one corner and 7 blocks diagonally from the other corner. That's going to give you 2 blocks. Choose one of these, and that's where your center of your farm is going to be, and where your center villager is going to be. From there, dig a little bit of a trench for a hopper line and going outside of the farm to a chest, and that's just going to be for item storage. Of course, storage is subjective. You can do your storage however you like, and that's just a really basic way of doing it. So from here, we're going to build up the center little item collection thing. I don't really know what to call it, but this is what it is. This is where all of your drops get collected. So then go ahead and put 8 cobblestone walls on top of that as well. So from here, you can go ahead and mark out 4 blocks from every corner, pop out a block and put down a water bucket and put a lily pad on top of that. And that's going to make sure that all of your farmland in here is nice and moisturized. So make sure you use a lily pad, because for some reason, if you use a carpet right here, that'll actually make villagers want to jump over it, meaning that they'll trample crops around it, which is not a good thing whatsoever. Make sure you just use a lily pad. So from here, you can actually start tilling everything. Alright, so now all of your farmland is officially tilled. What you can do is go ahead and put in your lighting. So go ahead and put 2 blocks above your lily pad, put 1 block out so that you can get a piece of glowstone diagonal to it, and that makes sure that you can actually walk underneath that and all those good things. So you can use a piece of glowstone, you can use a jack-o'-lantern or a sea lantern, really whatever you like, as long as it is a solid block and not just some torches or something. So of course, do this on all 4 of these, and your crop farm will have a ton of light so that it can function around the clock. Alright, so what you can go ahead and do now is put in a 2-high wall going around the entire thing. This is going to be on the edge of your chunk, so the inside area is going to be a 14 block by 14 block area. Now, one thing that you'll also want to make sure that you do is fill in the corner blocks, because zombies can actually attack through that little corner right there and possibly harm or kill your villagers, which is not a good thing, so fill in those blocks. So from here, you want to go ahead and put in a ring of solid blocks around all of your cobblestone walls and toss in any old villager. Doesn't really matter what kind they are whatsoever, as long as they are an adult villager. So put that guy in there. Then you're also going to want to find yourself a farmer villager. So a farmer villager is just any old brown coat. So farmer, fletcher, fisherman, or shepherd, I believe. I think those are the 4 kinds. Don't quote me on that. There might only be 3. Not really sure. Doesn't really matter. As long as they are fully brown, then they will be able to plant crops. So then you need to decide what kind of crop farm you actually want. Do you want potato? Do you want carrot? Do you want beetroot? Do you want bread? Decide and give that guy something like that. So if you want any of those things, carrot, potato, beetroot, or bread, then throw him either potatoes, carrots, beetroots, or wheat seeds, or beetroot seeds. And then he will start planting. So you can just release him, he will start planting. You can also help him plant if you want, but that's not really necessary. He will just keep doing his thing. So once your villager has finished planting all the crops, which doesn't take too long at all, these guys are pretty industrious, you can actually start activating the farm. So to activate the farm, all you need to do is remove these corner cobblestone walls. Make sure you only remove the 4 corner ones, otherwise it'll be broken in no time flat. So as soon as these things actually start growing up and he starts harvesting them, then you can start reaping the benefits of having a fully automatic crop farm, and you never need to touch this thing ever again. So how do you go about stacking this farm? It's actually pretty simple, but I'm probably going to butcher the explanation. So if something doesn't make sense, just know that I am a stupid person. But it's extremely easy, actually. So this layer right here is where all of your dirt is going to be going. It's going to be at the same layer as your glowstone, and also the same layer as your stone bricks right here. And if you were to till all of this, then this would be actually the floor for your next layer. Very simple and straightforward, right? So we can just get a little bit more of that place. So where do your water sources go? They go directly above these ones right here, of course. So you can just put an iron trapdoor on the ceiling right there and then pop out that block. Put in your water source, put in your lily pad, and of course do that on all 4 sides. And make sure you got everything tilled as well. So you're gonna keep the same center as the one below. So we're right above the lower villager, meaning that this is where your little collection area thingamabob goes in place. Of course, put in all those hoppers, put in your 8 cobblestone walls, and then you can put in your solid blocks above that as well. So let's just put those in place for you guys, and you can get a little bit better of an idea of how this goes together. So now all your items are going to end up in this hopper right here. So let's put a couple more hoppers right there. Boom. Now all of your layers are going to go into the 1 output chest down at the bottom right here. And you can see that we already have 34 potatoes. Not too bad. So this does mean that we're limited to 9,000 drops per hour because that is the rate at which hoppers transfer items, but that's not too big of a deal because you can just make more output lines going out. So if you wanted like 20 layers, I would do a new output line every 5 layers just to keep it nice and simple and to make sure that your hoppers never get backed up. Alright, so this looks kind of janky right here, but you guys get the general idea. You can just rewatch the tutorial if you need to, figure out any of the details for building the layer above. It's all exactly the same. It's simply just a couple blocks higher. And yes, you do want to also put in your lighting 2 blocks above this lighting right here. So that is pretty much all there is to that. So again, if any of that was confusing, forgive me, I'm just really bad with words. So this is what your farm should look like after you've built up a couple layers and also put in your lightning shield. Very simple, very efficient, very small, very reliable. So again, your lightning shield goes 4 blocks above the head height of your villager. So 1, 2, 3, and then this is going to be 4 right here. Build that out of glass, out of slabs, out of cobblestone, whatever you like. But if you build it out of something spawnable, then obviously put some torches up there. Otherwise, you will have some problems with mobs. So the last part of this video is going to be explaining how to make a wheat farm. So for a wheat farm, you don't need a villager in the center, you don't need anything in the center. However, you will need a hopper minecart running underneath all of the dirt. So to prepare the farmer villager, what you need to do is actually throw this guy as many seeds as he possibly can. They should have 8 inventory slot seeds, but throw them 9 stacks of seeds because, you just want to be thorough with this game. So he should have picked up all but 1 stack, and yes, all but 1 stack. So very fine, throw him 8 stacks of seeds, and then what you want to do is also plant the entire area with seeds. Do not make him plant it because then he'll have empty space in his inventory. Plant the entire area, throw him 8 stacks of seeds, and then you can allow him to start farming everything. So because his inventory is going to be full of seeds, he won't be able to pick up the wheat, meaning that it'll just sit around and you can pick that up with a hopper minecart. Very simple little system, works pretty well, and it is honestly a pretty good little way of doing things if you do want wheat. Otherwise, just throw the guy in there, throw him some seeds, and you'll get a bread farm. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did find it enjoyable. Let me know what other farms you want me to make on Bedrock Edition down in the comment section. Maybe leave a like on the video. Maybe subscribe to the channel so you guys see future tutorials. And I'll see you down in the comment section and in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. And then there was silence.